Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Q4 FY22 earnings conference call Auto Industries Limited, hosted by Essential Technologies Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Vijay Gyanchandani from Essential Technologies Private Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Welcome to Rico Auto Industries Q4 FY22 earnings conference call. From the management, we have today Mr. Arvind Kapoor, Chairman, Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director, Mr. O.P. Agarwal, Chief Advisor, Mr. Surendra Singh, President CEO, Mr. Rakesh Sharma, CFO, Mr. Sandeep Rajpal, Vice President, and Mr. B.M. Jam, Company Secretary. Now I request Mr. Arvind Kapoor to take us through the key remarks. After that, we can open the floor for the Q&A session. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good evening. My name is Arvind Kapoor, and I'm sitting here with my colleagues in our head office in Gurgaon, and we are all in the same room, except one of my colleagues who has joined us from US. He's on a marketing trip to the US, Sandeep. This year we grew by about 26-27%, and we are happy about that. This is despite the shortage of the chips and also the Ukraine war, which has been carrying on for almost 97 days now. And despite that, we managed to grow, and we've grown all across, be it the cars, the electric vehicles, the commercial vehicles, and even in the two-wheelers we have grown. And despite the fact that the two-wheelers, they've actually been down for the last almost 3 years now. And we could not meet our budget, what we had mentioned last year. We were away from that primarily because of the chips shortage that was there in the market, and also the two-wheelers not taking up. This is for the two-wheelers we had taken almost 15% lesser than the market of whatever had been predicted or whatever had been told by our customers. Despite that, the two-wheeler industry could not achieve whatever was required. But we are hoping that the way the month of May and April for the two-wheeler industry started, we are hoping that this year there would be a growth. I don't think we can hold back the two-wheeler industry for too long. It's almost 3 years that the rural area has not supported the two-wheeler industry, but we are hoping that with the monsoons being good this year, the forecast is that they would be normal to good, and if that happens, I'm sure the two-wheeler industry will do very well. There is a lot of pent-up demand in the two-wheeler industry, and the confusion on the electric vehicle, electric two-wheelers, and the IC engine, that would always remain, but still I think the first preference today is for the IC engine two-wheelers that we are talking of. Things seem to be good, and we are hoping that this year would be even better, and the budget that we prepared, we are looking at almost 2,400 crores turnover this year, and I'm talking the group turnover. And this is we are hoping that the corona does not hit us hard this year. 193 crore doses have already been given, so I think that is having a major impact on people actually falling sick or falling too sick, and now the total sickness time is also come down to about 5 days at the most, and people are not very serious now. So we are hoping that the monkey flu does not hit us, but otherwise I think this year seems to be good for the two-wheeler industry, and for the car industry. Everybody must have heard about the announcement that Maruti's made. They are going to cross 2 million, almost 2.1 million vehicles they would make this year, and the chips, they have made enough arrangement for the chips for 2.1 million vehicles. So I don't think that would be a constraint. Having said that, the chip shortage is still there. That would continue till almost end of 23. But that would be the additional chips that are required to meet the additional requirement of all the customers. That includes the car people as well as also the electronic industry that we are talking of. There is a growth that is taking place, and to meet that. But to meet the normal production and the target that Maruti set up is based on the chips availability this year. And we are very confident that Maruti being almost 50% of the total car market, if they are growing by, they will grow to 2.1 million, I think there would be a very good growth, because Kia is also expecting good growth. So are the Tatas expecting good growth. Mahindra is also doing very well. So we are hoping that the two-wheeler industry will do very well. Commercial vehicles, there's a pent-up demand, primarily because of fleet replacement, etc. So I think that would also help us in our growth. And the electric vehicles, our focus is primarily on the electric vehicles. All the new orders that we are getting are both for the electric vehicles, electrification, and also the IC engine. But we are focusing on the investments are now mainly focused on the electric vehicles. And we are hoping that in the next 2-3 years or 4 years maximum, we should be 40% of our sales should be in the region of mainly for the electrification of vehicles. That would include the electric vehicles as well as the hybrid vehicles. That's where the focus is, and that's where we are discussing and talking to our customers. The other good thing that is happening is the exports are picking up. Last year we did almost 456 crores of exports, which was almost 120 crores more than the previous year. And this year again, the projections are, and this growth took place despite the chips shortage and the Ukraine war, and Germany not picking up the total material that was committed to us. And we're hoping that, but the productions are coming back to normal there in Germany also, and Germany as well as in the US. And the other thing that we are noticing is that a lot of the companies in Europe as well as in the US, they are looking at shifting the base of the supply base from China to India, and we are seeing that. And the projection of 2,400 crores that we are talking of for this current year, we are hoping to exceed that primarily because of exports, because whatever we had committed to various customers, that demand is actually exceeding that. But anyway, we have budgeted, that's the budget that we have taken at the moment. And we are hoping that we will exceed all that. So I think this year will be a very interesting year. And we are hoping that the profitability should also improve. If you notice that we have been able to control our costs, and this year again there's a lot of effort that is on to control the costs further and to improve the margins. You would notice that quarter on quarter our EBITDA margins are improving, and you'll see a further jump. The other good thing that is happening is that the commodity prices are softening, and we are hoping that the lag impact that used to be there, which is almost would be in the region of 8 to 10 crores every quarter, or sometimes even 15 crores, that would not be there now, and we should start recovering some of the losses that we had incurred because of the lag of the pricing of the raw materials. There's a lag of almost 3 months to 6 months, depending on customer to customer. And so your company has declared a dividend of 40% this year, and this is the board, and in yesterday's board meeting this was cleared. And the other information that I would give you is that all the mergers that we have been discussing, I think by the month of August or latest by September, this should be over. Our final date is in July, and it will probably take us about a month after that to get everything in place, all the books in place. Yeah. That's it from me, and over to you. We can go to the question and answer if you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touch-tone phone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Mukesh Modi from Modi Fincap. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir, and Team Rico. Congratulations for the good set of numbers under given situation. I've got a couple of questions, sir.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for the 40.40 dividend, which is higher than last year, and the merging of subsidiaries, which gives a good indication for the Rico Auto's future. Now, sir, last time you said there is a lag of around 10 to 12 crore for the aluminum. Have we received in this quarter or still it is pending, sir?
So the lag comes in every quarter, and so जब receive होता है ना, it takes 3 months because it gets adjusted in the price. So it takes us 3 months to recover the amount.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and that is a normal practice, and now from next quarter onwards, probably there would be a gain that we would be getting. There would not be a lag, and we are waiting for the situation because this commodity price increases have gone for a little too long now. I think for almost about a year and a half, 2 years, we have just been paying, and the lag has always remained.
Correct, sir. Okay, got it, sir. So now with your experience of all these years, now we had been through a pretty tough time because there was airlifting, then there was a COVID, and this aluminum price and freight packaging price, internet. Looking to all these things with your experience, sir, how do you Rico Auto? I mean, is there we are out of the woods, and do you see a very clear picture for Rico Auto for next couple of years?
See, the airlifting and the other issues which are there, those are behind us now. And to be honest with you, we will be recovering a lot of it from our customers, and because it is not totally our fault that the airlifting was taking place, and that would come over time. But we have got it to some extent. And I think about 12 crores have already come, and we are looking. We think that the total the refund that we are looking at is almost about 30 to 40 crores. So that would come definitely this year. So we are the customer is going into the total details, and once that will be finalized, then we will get it. Now, besides that, if you notice, the sea freights have gone up tremendously. And some of the customers have already started adjusting the prices for the sea freights. And now this should also be adjusted every quarter. And the others we are negotiating with, and we are very confident that the sea freights would also be refunded to us.
Okay.
And our productions are absolutely normal, and we have plenty of capacities available. The same customers like Norbrams, etc., they are almost doubling to tripling the number of components that they're buying from us year on year. And I think for the next 3-4 years, we'll see that doubling or tripling taking place with some of the customers. And all the other customers also, we are getting repeat orders, and also we are getting into the new programs which they have come up with.
Oh, that's great to hear, sir. That's great. So can you give the breakup for in this quarter for the two-wheeler and EV, CV and PV, please, if it is possible?
This current year, the last year?
Yeah, current year.
I do have a breakup. Let me
Q4 and year 22.
See, the two-wheeler was in the region of about
Just approximate, sir, just to get the idea.
I think two-wheeler, our range is normally in the region of about 30%. And balance जो हमारा ना it's either the cars or electric vehicles. Electric vehicles, we are close to 15-16%, and we will be growing further in that. That includes all the components that we supply to overseas and in Indian market. And our target is to be 40% in the next few years that would come.
For EV, right?
For EV. For electrified vehicles, that includes the hybrid vehicles as well.
Sir, CV, how we are ramping up this CV, sir?
Commercial vehicles, this year we did pretty well. I think I have some commercial vehicles. Just a minute, I'll tell you this day.
First slide, sir.
Sir, around 50% growth in our CV business.
About 50% growth has happened this year. We've touched about 145 crores in the commercial vehicles. And if you look at the four-wheelers, there's a growth of almost about 25% there also. And the exports I mentioned, we've grown by over 100 crores.
Oh, great. That's great. And another one, sir, last year I think we have alluded to the capex for around 125 crore for CV in, I think, Chennai. Out of that, 80 was spent. So what is the scenario? I mean, this year, how much, what kind of capex do you expect, and how much we have spent out of this 125 crore?
See, there is a balance of about 50 crores left for the Toyota project, which will happen this year. And those are the large machines which will keep on, in fact, I think they should start coming from next month onwards, and from the next month onwards, June onwards.
And what about the other capex and maintenance capex?
Other capex, this year the maintenance capex would be, I think, about 20-25 crores. So there would be not too much capex that we are looking at. I'm looking at the hardcore machinery that we are talking of.
So overall, around 70-75 crore we will be spending this year, right?
Yeah, about 75-80 crores. That's what we will be spending, and we are hoping that. And the other good thing is that most of the capex that we had done last year, it is almost all of it will be in use this year. It will be in some sort of a production or the other.
Oh, good. So, okay, so that effect will come in this year.
Yeah, it starts coming in this year, and the total impact will be next year.
Next year will be the peak, right? There was one news article about Toyota investing 4,800 crore in Karnataka for powertrain. I mean, is that any complementary to our investment, or is separate altogether? I mean,
it is absolutely the investment that we are doing.
Okay, okay. And about interest, sir, what kind of debt, I mean, peak debt we are anticipating this year? I mean, our borrowing has gone up substantially from 300 to 400 crore. So,
see, the borrowing has gone up partially because of the bill discounting that we've
FY22.
Yeah.
And the borrowing should remain in the same region as far as this current year is concerned. And next year onwards, it will start coming down.
But here, this is a long-term
new borrowings and the repayment will almost balance out.
Okay. So this will remain for this year around this level?
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, sir, what is the status of our Rico Gen 5?
Rico Gen 5, they have grown this year, but they could have grown much. Last year they were at 60 crore. They have grown with
125.
Yeah. From 148 they went to 216 crores, and next year the target is to be 319 crores.
Oh, great. That's it. Very good. Very good.
And the other company, Rico Fluitromics, last year they were at 65 crores. Next year they would be at 130 crores. This is back-to-back orders of Maruti Suzuki for the oil pumps that we had, oil pumps and water pumps that we had got from Maruti.
Correct. Okay. Good. That's good. Okay, sir. Thank you. And I think that's done from me. And sir, lastly, on the personal note, please accept our condolences for Mrs. Kapoor, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Reminder to all the participants, please press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Aditya Sen from Robo Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Hope I'm audible. Hello.
Afternoon.
Yeah. I just wanted a few more updates on the Toyota project. When do we expect to start operations specifically for that Toyota project from the new capacity that we are installing?
Can you repeat your question, please? You're not very clear.
Hold on. Give me a second. Am I audible now?
Very good. Very well.
Yeah. I just wanted to know that when do we start operations for the Toyota project specifically from the new capacities that we are installing?
We already started.
Okay. We have already started the production and we are ramping up now. I think in July or
Peak will be on August.
August onward it would be peak, and the production has already started. And the die casting machines and other machines which are expected to come, those would add to our capacity. But at the moment we are utilizing the current machines which are with us. We took advantage of the chip shortage, and some of the equipment was not being used for Renault and the other Kia, etc. So we use those equipment and divert those capacities for the Toyota projects. So the productions are already on.
Okay, thank you. And what would be the capacity utilization of the entire firm?
The capacity? Huh?
Like, last year we were aiming around 80% utilization, right?
Utilization of capacity you're talking of the Toyota project. Abhi to it is just start.
Not of the Toyota project, of the Rico Auto as a whole.
Oh, as a whole. Now, if you look at Bawal, we are running at almost 80-85% capacity. And if you look at the Gurgaon facility, we are at in the iron division we are at about 75% capacity utilization, and we are ramping up further there. And if you look at the aluminum side, we are peaking out. We are at about 80-85% in Bawal. In Chennai, the capacity utilization was less because of the chip shortage. Renault and Nissan were slow in starting. Kia has again come back to full capacity. So the equipment which is related to Kia in Chennai, that is running at full capacity. But Renault and Nissan is running at about 20%, 30% less capacity. So we are running at about 70%, 65-70% in Chennai.
Okay, thank you, sir. And one last question. I'll just like to reconfirm. You gave a target of 2,400 CR revenue for FY23. Am I wrong, or I heard that right?
To be exact, it is 2350.
2350.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That was
I did say 24, just to rounding off the figures. But we are confident that we'll exceed this 2350.
Okay, sure. Thank you. That was my question, sir. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants, please press star and 1 to ask any question. The next question is from the line of Harsh from Renaissance. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, you had mentioned a target of 2350 crores expected in the next year.
Can you speak a little louder, please?
Oh, yeah, just a second.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had mentioned expected revenue of 20 to 50 crores, which is really very appealing figure.
but in which we even mentioned that it is also based, it will also be factoring the, company shifting their bases from China to India. So the expected, the figure of 2350 is inculcating that these companies shifting or your existing clients?
No. 2350 is what we have budgeted as per the orders we already have in hand, which we are executing at the moment. And what has happened is that the customers are actually picking up a little more than whatever indication they had given. But whatever is being transferred from China, those are the add-ons that will come.
Okay, that is an add-on.
Yeah, those add-ons.
Okay, thank you. That's my question.
That would also, see, the add-ons would be in some of the current components as well as also new components which will also come in.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Deepak Poddar from Sapphire Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity. So I have.
I am sorry to interrupt, Mr. Deepak. Can you please increase your volume a little bit? You're not audible.
Now it's better?
Yes, it's quite better now.
Okay. So thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity. I have got two queries. One is now revenue of 2,400 crores roundabout. Given you mentioned the chip shortage will still continue till end of 23. So what gives us confidence, or what is the risk we can see on this number that you have mentioned? And my second queries revolve around your margins. Now you did mention that commodity prices are softening, and we have started recovering from the lag of raw material prices. So how do you see EBITDA margin going into FY23? Yeah, those are my two questions. Thank you.
When I mentioned that Maruti is talking of 2.1 million, they factored the chips that are going to be available. This is the commitment that the chips suppliers in Malaysia, in Taiwan and Indonesia, they have given to Maruti Suzuki. And so that is based on that. Maruti could have actually gone even beyond that. And similarly, if you look at Kia and if you look at Renault, Nissan and others, this year the budget is solely based on the chips that have been committed by the suppliers. So when we've taken our budget, in the two-wheel industry, we've discounted it slightly, but we discounted slightly mainly because of the past experience in two-wheel industry, because the volume that we used to be declared was much higher, and the two-wheel industry was unable to sell that many vehicles. But this year it appears that they will exceed that, but nevertheless we just took a lesser margin. And we are very confident that this year, unless of course there is escalation of the Ukraine war goes further and some other problems start happening, we don't see any reason why we will not be able to achieve this.
Okay.
And on the margins, you see quarter to quarter that the margins are improving. The air freights, those are not there anymore, and we are also getting a refund of those air freights. And the sea freights, some of the customers have already given us the refund, and the others would also give us it. We are confident that those will be refunded to us. And on the commodity front, the impact will start coming from next quarter onwards, obviously, because it's a lag that actually happens. And so we will start seeing that change happening. Our margin target is 12% plus in any case. We are talking of 13% plus. In the export business, our margins are much better than the domestic business. The two-wheeler industry is always the biggest challenge. Then, of course, it's the car industry and commercial vehicles, and then the exports. And so, average out, we are hoping that you'll see every quarter you'll see a change in the margins, which will improve.
Okay. But you mentioned that this lower commodity prices will start reflecting in our numbers from 2Q onwards, right? Next quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. And this entire.
Partly this quarter also, but अभी तो पिछले quarter का recover कर रहे हैं.
Okay. And this entire FY23 we are targeting 12 to 13% margin, right?
Well, it'll be 10% plus in any case. That's.
Okay.
Our internal target is 13%, to be honest with you, but आपको मैं 10% से commit कर रहा हूँ.
Okay. Understood. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, that's about it from my side. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, if you wish to ask a question, please press star and 1 on your touchtone phone. The next question is from the line of Karthi from Suyash Advisors. Please go ahead.
Sir, good afternoon. A couple of questions, sir. One would be, can you give us some thoughts on how you will see debt evolving over a period of time? It's fairly high. Given your growth, therefore working capital requirements and against that cash flow. So how do you see debt evolving over a period of time?
Your question is that how is the debt going to evolve over time?
Yeah, debt, sir. Debt. Yeah. You have currently about 600 crore of debt on your books, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, your point is right that our working capital requirement is growing with the business. But along with that, we are repaying our term loans. So what is happening is that kind of balancing is happening. So whatever additional requirement is there, but simultaneously we are repaying also. So on that front, it is reducing. So that's why we said that by the year end, we should expect almost the same level of debt.
Right.
Working capital side, I would like to tell you one thing. As our exports pick up, the working capital requirements also go up. Primarily because earlier it used to take us 18 days to get the ship from from Bombay to Mumbai to any European port, and about 30 days for US. Now the time is almost a month and a half to 2 months for Europe, and in some cases there's a waiting outside the ports in US. So what is happening is there are more goods on the sea. And so as a result of which we had to pump in more material. And so if you look at the total cycle time, it is almost 100 days before we get a payment from our customers. But all our customers, we don't sell to the aftermarket overseas. We sell only to companies like BMW, Caterpillar, Cummins, Knorr-Bremse, these sort of companies. And we get our payments always in time, within 30 days. And so that as the exports increase, now we are going to 550 crores next year, and we will probably go beyond that also. And as exports go up, but then the cost of money for exports is much lower. That is the other advantage we have. Yeah.
Okay. The other point that you guided that your EV revenues from EV segment would go to 40% over a period of time, from 16% currently. What part of this is in your order book currently in terms of visibility? I'm not saying in terms of concrete orders, but at least in terms of visibility. And what part of it is still contingent upon business development?
See, the current the components that we supply to these components, when the orders were placed on us, these are all under 100,000. And the way the EVs picked up in Europe because of the subsidies that the government was giving, and also the requirements of BMW and PSA and Stellantis and the other companies, their requirement was that they had to meet the CAFE norms. And to meet the CAFE norms, they had to sell more electric vehicles to balance out the total carbon emission that they have. And for that purposes, their demand, instead of 100,000, they started taking up 250,000 to for the electric vehicles. And now the next, this is the Sandeep, this is the 5, and now we're going to the 6. Am I right?
Yeah, Gen 6.
Yeah, we're going to Gen 6 now, and for the Gen 6, BMW and others, they are planning almost 1.5 to 2 million vehicles to be produced in electric. And for that, we are there. And instead of 200,000 or 300,000 components, we are talking of 1.5 to 2 million vehicles. That's components that we are talking of. And it's a set of components. It's not only one component, it's a set of 4, 5 or 6 components that actually come up. So it multiplies actually if I look at one individual customer.
Right. And what time frames are we looking at, sir, here for these?
24 is when the production of Gen 6 starts, and the order should be placed anytime now.
Calendar 24, you mean?
Yeah, calendar
24. Interesting. And last question, sir, would these entirely be ferrous castings and HPDC, or would you also be looking at LPDC or gravity die casting in your portfolio?
Our focus is primarily on aluminum die casting because in electric vehicles primarily they need lightweight, and it's mainly the aluminum die cast component. And but there are few iron components which also go into the electric vehicle, but the iron component growth is also taking place because of Norgrams, etc., which is partly railways also.
Right. And beyond high pressure die casting, would you also be looking at low pressure die casting as well?
We do a lot of low pressure die casting.
I don't know exactly.
Aluminum wheels are all gravity castings, and we do a lot of it.
Okay. Sure. And what would be the pending capex for you, sir, in FY23 and FY24?
23, 24.
23 and 24.
This year we are expecting around 80. That's what we had said. And next year, whenever we do capex, it is always 100% based back to back on some orders. If I get that 1.8 million component orders from BMW, there would be investments involved, but there would be also some of the current investments would also get transferred into that. So at the moment, I might not be able to tell you the exact figure because we are still working on. There's a lot of minute calculation that's actually happening at the moment, but there would be a lot of adjustment of capacities that would happen.
Right. Allow me to ask you one question, sir. What happens in the chemical industry is that a lot of advances are issued by the customers in lieu of these capacities, dedicated especially. Do you foresee a similar trend happening here, sir, by any chance, to offset some of the challenges on the balance sheet side?
In the auto world, anything specific to a component where we make an investment, we always make the customer pay us in advance. That includes the dies, that includes the jigs and fixtures and special tooling which are required. The general purpose machines like die casting machines and machining lines, those are the places where we do the investments.
Sure. So thanks very much for answering my question, sir, and best wishes.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bhaskara Datla, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for giving the opportunity. My first question is like...
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Bhaskara. Can you speak a bit louder? Or can you adjust your volume?
Yeah. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, this is much better. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yes, thanks. Thanks. My first question is like Hero is going to start actually rolling out the electric two-wheelers. So do we have any orders related to the electric vehicles from Hero?
Please, can you repeat yourself? I can't hear you.
Hero actually starting electric vehicles, right, from July onwards. Do we have any orders related to the electric vehicles from Hero? Components related to the electric.
Wherever Hero is involved, we will always be there.
Okay. And second question is like, do you have any kind of R&D related to electric components? If you have, like, how many employees we have working on actually to do some kind of R&D on electric components, rather than actually waiting for customers?
Let me give you one interesting answer here. When the electric vehicles, these new components that we got from BMW and also the other customers, PSA, the R&D was ours. A lot of R&D was ours because you cannot use just any aluminium alloy in this. There's a very special aluminum alloy which was totally 100% recommended by us, which is actually being adopted by the total industry now because of conduction, etc. So it's a lot of work that our company, my engineers, my people have actually put into that. So that suggestion was actually ours.
Okay. The second question is, do you have any separate team to focus only on electric side, related components, business? Do you have any kind of management team specifically focusing on this part?
Absolutely. There's a separate team which looks after this.
Okay, sir. The final question is that in my previous quarter call also I asked actually related transactions. You mentioned that it will come down drastically going forward. And just want to know what kind of transactions we are having with any promoter related companies and how much is the cost and what kind of material they are providing to Rico Auto.
And your question is not clear. Please, can you repeat yourself?
Yeah,
get a little closer to the mic, please.
Yeah, sure. Sorry. How many related transactions we have with the promoter company?
Related transactions? No, actually we have our 100% subsidiaries who are supplying manufacturing for Rico, and now they are in the process of merging, and by August we are expecting that all those subsidiaries will get merged. So there is no related party transaction that is going to have after that, except for the other subsidiaries that will remain after merger also.
The bulk of the transactions are with our 100% subsidiaries.
Okay, sir. Yeah. That's it from me, sir. Thank you very much for taking the question.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, a reminder to all the participants, please press star and 1 to ask any question. The next question is from the line of Mr. Aditya Sen from RoboCap. Please go ahead.
So do we stick to the margin guidance of 11% going forward?
On 10, but 11%, we will probably cross 11% also. By the year end, yeah.
By the year end, okay.
You see the change every quarter.
Okay. Thank you.
See, there are a couple of reasons for this. One is, of course, there's more efficiency in our working. Number 2, we have been able to cut down a lot of costs. And number 3 is the introduction of new components which come in. The new components, when they come in, they are at better margin. And that impacts the overall situation in the company. So that also, we don't like components which last for 20 years. We like components which need a change within 5 to 7 years. So whenever we quote afresh, our margins are much better. Hello.
Thank you. Reminder to all the participants, if you wish to ask a question, please press star and 1 on your touchtone phone. As there are no further questions, I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Thank you so much for taking our time to be with us today. And we are very confident of this year. And hopefully the Ukraine war does not expand further. And if it remains only there, then we all hope that we get over it. Russia is expected to get over the war in 15 days, but it's been 97 days now. And hopefully this war should end. And if that happens, the market will grow even further. But having said that, the Indian market will grow. The US market is growing. Now even the European market has opened up. And so we are very confident that this year's budget, we have been a little conservative in taking it, but we are fairly confident. We have the capacities in place, and except for the die casting machine which are coming for Toyota project, but those capacities would by and large start getting used by the end of the year, and also for the next year onwards, where we'll be running full capacities. And besides that, we have enough capacity in place to cross even 2,400 crores. So we are very confident that we will meet our targets with better margins. And you see the results on quarter to quarter, and hopefully there's no crash as far as the commodities are concerned. The other thing that is bothering us is the oil prices. We hope that the government of India tries to keep it under some control. Otherwise, that could be one spoiler in the whole thing. That could also happen. Thank you so much for attending the conference, and hopefully we'll give you some better news, even better news the next time.
Thank you. On behalf of Essential Technologies Private Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.